Hello everyone, welcome to another exciting episode of Dayspring Discussions. I'm your host, Sean McGahee. In this show, we talk about movies, TV, sci-fi, fantasy, comic books. If you geek out about it, we're going to talk about it. You can listen to Dayspring Discussions on iTunes, YouTube, Podomatic, and Patreon, and contact Dayspring Discussions on the Facebook group, Twitter account, and dayspringdiscussions@gmail.com. Well, happy Thursday, everyone. It is a bright and sunny day here in Austin, Texas. Hope you're enjoying your week. The weekend is almost upon us. Guys, if you haven't been to the theaters lately, get out there. There are some really good films. Of course, you got Avengers Infinity War that's been out for a couple weeks. Deadpool 2 came out last week. And Solo, a Star Wars story, is a good film. Trust me on this. You will enjoy it, even if you're a little hesitant about a young Han Solo movie and all these spin-offs and whatnot. Go see it. Check it out. I think you'll enjoy it. I've spent my morning sifting through a couple of comic books. There's a Lando miniseries that kicked off today. Go check that out. That's pretty good. Marvel's 2-in-1 with The Thing and the Human Torch. That's been going on. I believe it's issue 6. Pretty good going on. And of course, Brian Michael Bendis starts his run on Superman with Man of Steel #1. You can check that out. And he's going to put a little twist on Superman, I guess. Starting off with this issue, I wasn't overly impressed with it, but, you know, it's one part of the story, and we'll see where it goes from there, guys. Okay, well, I got a couple stories I'm going to run through today. You guys fire back on social media groups and Gmail account. Let me know what you think, and let's get right into it. So, according to Deadline, actor Jason Momoa and director Corin Hardy have exited the production of The Crow today as Sony appears ready to withdraw as the film's worldwide distributor. Now, this is just one of many issues this film has had over the last couple years. They've picked up and dropped directors and actors and all this sort of stuff. Just seems like they can't get this remake going. Now, The Crow was originally based on a comic book. There was the 1994 film starring Brandon Lee. The story saw a man resurrected to seek vengeance against those who killed him and his fiancée in this dark tone. The soundtrack for The Crow is very grungy, but overall a good film. If you haven't seen The Crow, go check it out. It's kind of one of those different comic book films that's not like mainstream. Check it out. I think you'll enjoy it. But nonetheless, this production has seen a lot of issues. No one really knows it's going to get off the ground. Now, Deadline attributes the issues to creative and financial differences with Davis Films, which holds the film rights and is financing the project. Maybe Davis Films is just holding on a little too tight, not willing to budge on a couple things. I don't know what's going on, but in any event, Momoa and Hardy are off the project now. Whether they'll pick someone up soon, we'll have to wait and see about that, guys. But again, if you haven't seen the original Crow, go check it out. They did have several sequels, but go check out the original Crow. It's pretty good, guys. And now to our lead story. So according to Deadline, after years of discussion and his enthusiasm for the project, Oscar winner Jamie Foxx has officially signed on to play Al Simmons in Todd McFarlane's Spawn reboot. Now, McFarlane has also confirmed that he's planning a trilogy for his Spawn films that is going to be produced by Blumhouse Production. Blumhouse, known for kind of the lower budget films. They helped produce Get Out, which got some Oscar praise last year, and several other high quality films, in my opinion. They're also known for the low budget. They go from about $10 million to $100 million, and they usually make more than that, thus reaping in some good cash. Now, with this one, McFarlane is set to direct the film, something he's very adamant about because he doesn't want anyone to skew or tell him what to do with his creation. He's also said that it's going to be dark and R-rated. Now, the film is set to be $10 to $12 million budget, and McFarlane himself is putting up some of his own money to help do that. Blumhouse is going to finance the other one. A little different from the normal comic book and superhero properties that we get today, where most of the budgets are between $100 million to $200 million. So we'll see exactly how it goes for McFarlane and Blumhouse. But Jamie Foxx allegedly has been talking to McFarlane for a long time to play this character. He said, quote, "A few years back, I flew out to Arizona to meet the man behind one of the most incredible comic book characters in the universe, Todd McFarlane. He was taken aback when I told him with the enthusiasm of a young child that more than anything, I wanted to put my name in the hat to embody this beloved character Spawn. I told him no one would work harder than me if given the opportunity. Well, the opportunity is here. I'm humbled and ready to transform, and on top of the young Jason Blum is lending his brilliance to the project. Time to be great. Hashtag Spawn. So there you have it. You got Jamie Foxx as Spawn. Now, this isn't the first time we've seen this character brought to the big screen. Back in 1997, I believe, was it? You did have Michael Jai White play the title role in a film that also had Martin Sheen in it. I saw it as a young child, and I enjoyed it, but then again, I was 12. What did I know? I think I saw it like 3 times in theaters. But looking back on it, it's not the best comic book or superhero film. Kind of cheesy. I think they tried to make it PG-13, and you can definitely tell Spawn is not that type of character. If you really want some good Spawn outside the comic books, go check out the HBO animated series. I believe it's on Hulu or Netflix now. Of course, you can go on Hulu now and check it, but I was searching through the streaming services the other day. Maybe it's Amazon. It's one of the streaming services, either Amazon, Hulu, or Netflix, because those are the 3 that I have, and it's on one of those. I want to say Amazon. Maybe. Anyway, go check out the animated series. The title character also celebrated 25 years this year and hit over 300 issues next year. So Spawn, definitely a popular character. I know a lot of people who love this character. He's going to be around for a long time. Jamie Foxx playing him, great, awesome. Jamie Foxx, great actor. I think he can do whatever he wants. McFarlane seems enthusiastic about it. Jason Blum seems he's enthusiastic about it. I'm very curious what kind of film they're going to make, though, for such a low budget. Either people aren't getting paid that much, or it's going to be, not quite as visual as we're used to, especially with the other 1997 film. Very heavy special effects on that. I imagine that budget, even for 20 years ago, was more than what this one's going to be. They could kind of tone it down a little bit, make it more of a mystery, include Sam and Twitch, and play it from their side as opposed to Jamie Foxx's Al Simmons side. I don't know, but I'm not worried about the story. I guess what I'm worried about is Todd McFarlane. He's never directed a movie before, never really, I don't think, even produced a movie before. Sure, he's written a lot, and he can tell a story, but telling a story on paper is different than telling a story on screen. I just don't know. I know he wants to control everything, and I give him big marks for putting up his own money, writing, directing, trying to do it all on his own because it is his creation, it's his baby, it's what he's proud of, but directing himself, unless he has someone else there helping him, which I'm sure he does. Jamie Foxx is not shy of being in front of and behind a camera, so I'm sure he's going to give a few notes. I'm sure Jason Blum is going to give a few notes. Whether or not McFarlane's going to take them, I don't know. I think he should, just to, help himself grow. If he is going to direct the film, just make it as great as possible, because we all want it to be as great as possible. But this confirms Jamie Foxx is going to be playing Spawn. Let me know what you guys think. Of course, Facebook, Twitter, and Gmail account. Next up, it looks like Sonic the Hedgehog film has found its lead. So according to Variety, James Marsden has landed the lead role in the upcoming Sonic the Hedgehog film, a live-action CGI hybrid adaptation of the popular Sega video game series. Now, earlier it was reported that actors such as Jack Black, Jason Segel, Owen Wilson, and even Paul Rudd might be up for the role of Tom, a sarcastic cop who becomes friends with the title Hedgehog as the two team up to take down Dr. Eggman. The film is set to release 2019. It will be directed by Jeff Fowler. Also, Deadpool's Tim Miller will serve as executive producer. Now, a solo film with the iconic Hedgehog has been in the works since 2014 with Paramount. Also, we saw Sonic in 2012's Wreck-It Ralph. Also, he was briefly seen in Ready Player One as an Oasis avatar. So, Sonic the Hedgehog is not the only video game series coming out with a movie. You also got Super Mario in works, as well as Detective Pikachu, a live-action CGI-influenced Pokemon film, which is already set to star Ryan Reynolds. Sonic the Hedgehog, I love. Growing up, most people that I know weren't rich enough to get a Sega Genesis and a Super Nintendo. You had one or the other usually. I had the Sega Genesis. I had all the Sonic games. I prefer Sonic the Hedgehog over Super Mario, even though, you know, Super Mario's still cool. Grew up on him. Great character, but I love me some Sonic more. You had the ABC cartoon growing up, too. That was voiced by, what's his name? Michael Jamal White. Is that who it is? Steve Urkel. Steve Urkel from Family Matters. He did the voice. And that was actually a quality cartoon, I think, for back in the day, Saturday mornings. So I'm excited for a Sonic the Hedgehog movie because I think it's a very rich universe. This, however, is Sonic the Hedgehog coming into probably the real world, I'm assuming. Much like they did with, say, the Smurfs movie and other stuff. And I am totally against this idea. I don't know why they want to do this. SpongeBob did it too, right? Did they? I never saw the SpongeBob movie, but that's what happened. The SpongeBob animated characters came over to the live action world, and somehow people in movie studios think that's what we want to see, or that's what they think our kids want to see. We don't want to see it. At least I don't, okay? Give me an animated movie with Sonic the Hedgehog in his own world with his own characters, okay? That, I think, would be a great story you could execute. Bringing him over into a live-action world, yeah, it might be good for a couple of jokes, but I just don't see it. I don't see it going. Now, James Marsden, love James Marsden, of course, Cyclops, Westworld, he was in Superman Returns. Love the actor. I'm totally okay with him getting work. This film, though, the fact that it's going to be a hybrid live-action CGI film, I'm not excited about it. Of course, my mind might be changed with the trailer and then changed again when I see the film, but as of right now, I'm not okay with this idea. I am happy, though, James Marsden, great talent, is going to be a part of it. Okay, and my final story for today. So Netflix has unveiled the first official trailer for its first comic book titled The Magic Order, written by Mark Millar. Now, Millar has signed a deal with Netflix to produce content strictly for them. This is going to be their first comic book title that Netflix comes out. So Miller is creating all these things for Netflix now, as well as taking some of his previous work and hopefully adapting them to animated or live-action forms for Netflix, otherwise known as Miller World, as they call it. The Magic Order series will be 6 issues long and marks the first franchise Miller has created as part of the acquisition. Now, Magic World, the synopsis for it is that 5 families of magic sworn to protect our world for generations must battle an enemy who's picking them off one by one. By day, they live among us as our neighbors, friends, and co-workers, but by night, they are sorcerers, magicians, and wizards that protect us from the forces of darkness, unless the darkness gets them first. It's being called Magic Meets the Mob. And I saw this first trailer, and to me, Mark Millar has always kind of taken a genre or something and kind of made it his own. In my eyes, Kick-Ass is kind of a take on like Spider-Man meets Batman and Robin. You had MPH, which is kind of Flash. You got Superior, which is kind of a take on Shazam. Jupiter Circle, of course, the Justice League or Kingdom Come type characters. So overall, you know, to me, he's always taken something to kind of interpret it. With this, it's almost like he's taking a shot at the Wizarding World and, you know, adding some Goodfellas into it or something like that, which honestly looks interesting to me. Mark Millar, there are very few things that Millar has written that I have not liked. Maybe there's 1 or 2, but overall, I enjoy anything Mark Millar does. I'm excited to see what this Netflix partnership does, but from this, it looks interesting. Now, I'm not sure if we're going to get any exclusive content, like if you're a Netflix subscriber, can you get more, perhaps? And I'm also kind of curious that Netflix is branching out a little bit. Not just, you know, they went from DVD rentals to the king of streaming service, or maybe even created streaming service, really, in my eyes. Now they're branching out to comic books. They've got a bunch of TV shows. They got movies that are getting Oscar nominations and some that aren't. So Netflix is this huge conglomerate. They're branching out, and I think it's very interesting. This Wizards with the Mob, cool. Sounds like a good idea. Of course, Millar is good on his execution, so I am super psyched. I will be reading this as soon as it comes out, and I'll probably do maybe a little review about it just because I feel like this is kind of big in the eyes of the comic book industry and the entertainment industry, that not only is Mark Millar a writer signing with a corporation such as Netflix, but that Netflix is branching out to do more than just TV and movie streaming. They're making comic books now, is what it is. So it's all very interesting. If you haven't seen the trailer for it, go check it out online. My wife, who is a big Harry Potter fan but hates mob movies, I don't know how she's going to feel about this. I'll probably get her to watch this trailer, or maybe have her read the book and let you know what she thinks as well, guys. Well, that is going to be it for me today. Time to fire back on the Facebook group, Twitter account, and dayspringdiscussions@gmail.com. Let me know what you think. Jamie Foxx as Spawn, guys. Are you psyched for that? How do you think the film's going to do on such a low budget and with McFarlane directing it? Fire back, let me know. Of course, you got Sonic the Hedgehog, live action CGI. I'm not a fan of that. Let me know if you are. The Crow, losing Jason Momoa as director. Do you think the film's pretty much done with? And finally, of course, like I just mentioned, The Magic Order. What do you think of it? What do you think about the deal with Millar World and Netflix branching out to do more than just streaming? Fire back, guys. Let me know. I think it's going to be my last show for the week, so I'll be back next week with hopefully some good news stories. Until then, may the Force be with us all.